really see it very well, but bought it online for $270. Some of it's donated, of course. So far we got 2 shoe shining kits. Can't see anything on the video because it's so bright. Well, anyways, they're full of shoe shining stuff. Let me show you. So it's an actual shoe shiner kit, so I have no idea what it's worth. We'll see. Oh, we got this. Alright.
Feels like it's books though.
Bucks. What do you know?
Just scrapbooking.
Scrapbooking.
Oh, you better show these, sir. Oh, no, that's not scrapbooks. They're gift bags.
Just guitar. Is there anything in here? Choose juicy, not choosy gooder. God. Nothing. Whole books. Oh, fucking books. Here.
Love you too, Trish.
That's so cool. Auburn.
It's not how they wear the roll line. It's worth a couple dollars. Alright, I'm gonna turn this off.
Dad, will that So we found an old scale and some lanterns. This is, so far, half of it's donated. But we found these cool old Pepsi placemats from 1976. Let's see if I can get it open. Oh, that one's the same one, the same one. Really cool. What? What is it, a pipe?
Yeah.
It's a freaking old pipe.
It's kind of cool. It's a bagpipe.
Is there a head for this? The
No,
owl?
it's broken anyways.
Found some jewelry. Here's some crab jewelry. Nothing says silver on it, but we haven't really looked through it very well. There's a chain. Wouldn't that be nice? This is fake. Nice if it was real. Yeah. And then we found a bunch of drumsticks. Drums? I'll have to look them up. We found all this. This guy. I think it's the same guy all the way through his years. I'll probably end up giving this to the front because she wants stuff back. I'll give that to her. Here's some stuff. These are old. Nothing really here.
Nope, won't
Parker
grab.
pins. Just so you know, these Parker pins are really, they go for a lot of money. So just if you ever come across pins, look for Parker. Parker pins are worth some money. This is weird. This is pretty heavy. 1905. Crane Company. That's odd.
I don't know what the hell it is.
This is an elephant being taken down by lions.
The lions. Strange.
Look at that. The lions are killing this elephant. That's pretty weird. Anyway, there's some Avon in here, some old tools. Old stuff. We just scored. Really cool. box. This is from the Sierra Hotel. Too cool. Look at this. Everything's not open. This is like a Kodak special offer. So cool. And there's some other cool stuff. Here's a camel. Joe Camel Casino thing. These are from Paris. They're old. This is homemade out of leaves. Old toy, a taser. An Iron Maiden record. $50 right here. Possibly. We haven't looked it up yet. And we also have some glasses in there that we looked up just now worth $150. Thank you. So I'm looking through this container. Got a whole jewelry thing. It mostly looks like crop to me, but who knows? I gotta go through it. Don't want to see that, and boom. This is kind of interesting. Somebody put this all in a bag. So I'm gonna pause it really quick and check and see one piece is gold. Okay, so it was all GE, which if it says 12 karat or 14 karat GE, it's just GF, gold plated, gold filled. There is a guy that takes gold filled. So you can find people that will take gold filled. But I mean, they're worth $1. I can get $1 at Folsom Flea Market for most of the jewelry. So each, just say $1. It's all jewelry. This is really cool. Over here, these are all mirrors. We're gonna donate them all. This is really cool. It's a dresser. Has drawers inside of it. Probably gonna ask.
Show them the Bakelite handle.
Probably
$50 at least.
$50, I think. These are Bakelite handles. This is not very good shape. We're gonna donate this, but we're taking these off, and they're $25 each. These are Bakelite. Here's our garage. We bought this mid-century chair and couch at an estate sale. Well, this is flea market stuff.
Don't show us.
I'm not showing. This is a mid-century couch we bought at a estate sale. It goes to sectional. Here's a mid-century chair. And then we found this mid-century, I'm saying to mention, this mid-century table set and a unit that I lost the footage for on Labor Day because I took my phone into the lake. So I lost my phone, so I lost that unit. It wasn't a very good unit though. It had antiques in it, but not very many. So here's a bunch of stuff we found in that unit. Here's more of the sectional couch. Box of new stuff. Here's a bunch of stuff that I'm going to take to the flea market still. This is old stuff from the last tool unit that we had. And then went to another estate sale, and we bought this metal cabinet, Youngstown, for like a garage or to repurpose for a kitchen, for a microwave in the corner. And this is a dinette set that we bought. Has some issues, so we picked this up for $100 to get into the estate sale early. So we gave him $100 for this, but we ended up scoring like really good that day. And $1,500 worth of stuff that we put in our booth. So pretty good day that. So pretty much we're going to be giving that to somebody who wants to fix it because we don't want to fix it. Here's all the Victorian furniture. Got a chair. I'm gonna put this chair on there for 40 bucks. This little table for 20. This little chair for 20. That's going in our booth for smalls. But this little cute doll set. Christmas, totally. Somebody will buy that for their kid for Christmas. Probably charge 60 bucks for that. And then we got this lamp that needs work. It's 20 bucks. Yeah, and then we got 2 more dinette sets. And I'll show you those in a second. Unpause this for a second.
I want to move that one out here where it's better.
Really though.
No, it's gonna be an Auburn thing. Well, it might be a Christmas thing. Take a picture of it.
I did. I took a picture of it.
Hungry.
I'm sure you are. You're fine. No, see you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, this one's the last one. So we're gonna put 60 bucks on both of these. Let's show you that one. Can't really see it because of the dark. But gonna sell it to someone that's gonna fix it up. This is Victorian style. I would say, I probably think this was what, 300 bucks, right?
I'll fix up. You probably put like $425. We're gonna put $125 on it. 60 bucks.
I'm gonna put 60 bucks.
No,
on
we're putting $125 on it. Somebody will pay more than that. Calm down.
Fixed up, these are probably worth $425 if you have an antique booth. So, we also had a vanity. We had like 6 more items, but we gave it away for free. Victorian furniture. We took some Bakelite handles off of one thing.
No, the only piece of Victorian furniture we had was a vanity. We gave that away because it was all busted up, missing the mirror.
And we had
Took the Bakelite candles. Everything else was not Victorian. It was just crappy furniture. It was all scratched to hell.
Okay, everyone. Well, we just went to Folsom and we spent $275 on the unit. We made $360, and we've been doing this for a year now. So I want to tell everybody that I've been doing this a year, and we are negative in profit by about $4,000 this year, which is completely normal with the learning curve. I'm going to tell you some things that I learned this year that maybe you can prevent yourself from doing if you haven't started this already. So one of the mistakes that we made at the very beginning of this was not selling to dealers. What happened was we bought our first locker and we showed up to Denio's and we got rushed with dealers and to our U-Haul. And I never experienced something like this because I had never really done yard sales or anything before. And that's what happens when you first get there. What I did was I sold something for $5, and the dealer that bought it from me, I didn't know was a dealer, was straight across from us. So after we got done and things settled down, I watched a customer go over and buy it from him for 25 bucks. And I got mad. I'm like, oh my God, I just lost 20 bucks. I'm so irritated. That could have been my money. And I come to realize that after all this time, that selling to dealers is probably how you make the most money in the mornings. Just get there early. Make sure, if you go to flea markets, make sure you get there before 8 o'clock. And then you have to wake up really early to go to a flea market and set up. But you're going to get a lot of the dealers because customers aren't around. If customers are around, the dealers aren't going to leave their stations because they have to deal with the deal. They have to make money too. So you won't make any money. So you have to get there early. You have to make sure you bring new merchandise. You have to make sure that you're giving them a good deal so that they can double up on their profit. Because what's going to happen is that stuff's going to sit around. Maybe they might make 20 bucks right away, like what happened in front of me, and I got upset. But I made $260 off of them right when we showed up, like within minutes. And we get swamped with people, and they're grabbing stuff out of my truck, which I hate. And I'm trying to like dump it all on the table for them because they're just grabbing everything that they can. and I'm yelling out prices and trying to be reasonable, and they negotiate with me and somebody else is negotiating at the same time. So you have to be very good at multitasking. Make sure you understand that somebody's going to steal from you, and if you don't care, you don't care. But the problem is most of them are going to be upfront with you and be like, here you go, here's your money, because they're going to want to come back and buy from you. And if you know that somebody stole from you for real, and you're like, you just call them out on it. Just like, you stole from me last time, I'm not selling to you. And then he could say, no, I didn't steal from you. And I'd be like, yeah, you did, so go away. No, does somebody want that for $2? So somebody will grab it out of his hands or hers. So just watch for that. But all you can do is watch, and some people are just rude, and anyways. So that was one of the things I learned, was that I have to get over the fact that somebody's going to sell something in front of me. My husband, on the other hand, took about 6 months for him to get over that fact. I was on game. I was like, I'm buying these storage units for cheap enough. If I wasn't, and we weren't making any money, I'd get mad. See, what we did is how I'm negative right now. It's not on the storage units. It's how I branched out and tried to open up my own little thing with the antiques, which actually just paid off this month. We've been paying on our booth at Midway Antique Mall for a year now, and we haven't really sold anything. And somebody came in and bought a bunch of stuff from the store, and they ended up buying all of our furniture, and we ended up making really good money. Did that make up for all the rest of the months? Yeah, that pretty much cut us even. So it would be nice with the next 3 or 4 months if we could keep selling some big things, but we're reducing down our space, which makes it harder for us because we don't have as much to choose from. If you have more to choose from and you have a bigger space, and you're going to make more money because you have more of an opportunity to capture those sales. So it's very difficult when you're having to pay rent on something. Okay, so another thing is so don't be scared to undersell your stuff. On a second note, when you're doing storage lockers, make sure that you're putting aside some stuff that you're going to make your profit on. That being said, on eBay, anything that you're going to sell on eBay, you leave here. Anything that you're going to take, to Alameda, which is an antique fair, and you're going to get $100 for something that's only going to get you $20 on the fair. Don't take it to the fair. It's too hard, because when you get that customer or that dealer that wants to pay you the $30 and you hardly made any money for the day, you're going to talk yourself into selling it, because you're just going to be like, oh, I just want the $30 so I can go buy a new locker or anything. So leave it here. This is your inventory. This is where your home is. Your inventory is like your storage. If you have a storage unit, leave it in your storage unit. This is your expensive stuff, the stuff that you're not going to want to give away. Another thing is separate it into piles. I do free stuff that even the storage unit, even the Goodwill doesn't want to sell. That stuff's usually garbage, but you can either get Salvation Army to come pick it up. Call Salvation Army. There's people on Craigslist that will do like yard sale leftovers. They'll come pick it up. If you just post it for free on Craigslist, you can get people to pick it up. That's what we did with this unit. And we were at the storage unit cleaning it out. So we didn't want to take it home. We didn't want to take it anywhere. So what we did, we knew we were going to be there for another 3 or 4 hours. So what we did was we posted it. Within 30 minutes, I got like 12 phone calls. He showed up. He took what he wanted. I have a couple mirrors left. We took some free stuff to Folsom and gave some free stuff away. The rest of it, I threw in my garbage can as much as I could. We do have a big mirror that's really tall that I don't know if we're going to be able to give away. I'm going to post it on free for Craigslist again and see what happens. But anyways, so what you do is you separate the free stuff. You separate the stuff that's going to get you, when you put stuff out at a garage sale or you put stuff out at a flea market, what happens is people look at it, and if the majority of the stuff is clothes, or I don't want to say crap because that's not fair, because everybody needs something and nothing's crap to anybody. So if somebody wants a bunch of plates or kitchen stuff and clothes are the majority of what all yard sales are. So if you have a bunch of clothes or kitchen stuff that's completely up front of the front of your driveway, no one's gonna stop. I'm gonna drive right past, because that's all I see is somebody that doesn't do this for a living that's putting out their stuff they don't want in their house anymore. And I don't want that stuff because I can buy it at a storage unit. So you have to think of the people that are going to come to your yard sale. Another thing is the people that come extremely early are the hardcore yard sellers. They're the people that are looking for something to buy specific, whether it be a Pez dispenser or it be miniatures or it be coins, gold. You need to ask them what they're looking for. If they say no, nothing, I'm just looking. Just be like, is there normally something that you're looking for this early in the day? If I don't have it, I might be able to get it for you. So open up the line of communication. If they still don't want it, they still say, no, I'm just browsing, then just drop it. But there might be something where somebody's like, well, I'm a shabby chicer and I do antiques and I'm always looking for dressers that really need some work done on them. Then you have an opportunity. Ask if she has a card. Ask if he has a card, and see if there's something that, ask their price range. Ask if they have a certain amount of money they like to spend on something. If there is, anyways, make sure that they have a pen and paper ready, and you write down their name and what they're looking for and their price ranges. If you can find some dressers in a unit and it's just a dresser, or it's just, two dressers and they're pretty beat up, you pay $1 for them and you can sell them for $30 each, maybe to the people. So you just have to you have to buy for people when you're going to storage auctions, and you can always do that when you're early in the morning. At a flea market, it's different. You want to walk the whole flea market. Look and see who the vendors are. Look and see what people have, what they're looking for. Look and see go up to them and act like you're a customer and say, how much do you want for this? They're going to tell you price, and you're going to know how much they're asking for their stuff. And if you want to even go in more depth, if you see somebody always buying something from you that doesn't really know they're buying something from you, then you can always watch them interact with their customers. If they come down a lot, then they're not going to pay you a lot for it. If they don't come down at all, then they're willing to spend a little bit more money on your stuff, and you can actually make them. All you have to do is know that vendor and be like, $20. And if he's like, oh, no, I can't do that, I don't want to do that, be like, start out high, and then all of a sudden you're like, you would have asked $2 for it. But be like, okay, fine, I'll do 10. I'm not doing no less. You can get $10 out of that vendor. Sometimes I purposely give a high price because there's some items that are just worth a lot more money, and I'm gonna get that from a customer, so they can just go away for all I care. So it's not like I'm giving everything away, but I'm also trying to hit what I bought the locker for at one estate sale, one flea market. So I take a truckload there, and I'm trying to hit. My goal is to hit how much is spent on that locker, so that every single thing that I have at home that I have in my house from that locker is free. So what I mean by free, it means I paid myself back. It's like putting a deposit down on the locker, $100, and you go and you clean out the locker, you get your $100 back. That weekend, I go to the flea market one time. I stay till like 12:30, 1 o'clock. Seriously, I go home. I don't have to stay all day at Folsom. So I go, I make my money back within that first weekend. My garage is not cluttered with a bunch of stuff that I don't want to keep because I got rid of it. I have like 3 boxes left over for another trip to Folsom, maybe. And then I'm done. I am not thinking about that locker anymore. It's completely cleaned out. I'm not messing with it. So what I do is I donate all the clothes, which I go through the clothes. I make sure there's no leather in there. I make sure there's no Prada in there. I make sure that, no Louis Vuitton hat, which I found. I make sure that there's no good clothing in there, but I donate it all. I just throw it all in. A lot of people can get 25 cents. A lot of people do clothes. They do full fashion, but I don't do that because I don't know what I'm doing. Jeans might run some money, but, whatever. Anyways, I also do estate sales. So what I do, I wanted to tell you guys some things about estate sales. You need to get there early. It starts at 9 o'clock. You don't show up at 9 o'clock. You show up if you want. If you look at the pictures and you see something that you can get $200-300 for, and you know the company, or if you've never done this before and you want to try and do it, get there at 6. Put your name down. Some people give free coffee and donuts. These people at estate sales, I actually stopped doing storage locker auctions and went straight for estate sales only for 2 months. I went to every estate sale I could possibly go to. I learned every single company in the Sacramento area. I just hounded estate sales. So an estate sale, the best estate sale you're going to find is something that's not run by a company. It's run by the kids of the deceased. So what you want to do is try to find those private estate sales. I wanted to tell you, so I told you that Parker pins are really good on eBay. So our miniature furniture. I went to an estate sale and I found these cool blankets. They're flowers and I don't know how to say it. Anyways, flowers, and I got this, and I got it all for $10. But miniature furniture, I bought everything for $10, and I've only had it a week. I sold everything. I sold 6 items of this size. This little tiny size for $7 each, $5 each. I made $45 already off this stuff. And she had a ton of it, and I didn't grab it all. Because I wanted those blankets. Blankets are huge. Quilt blankets are huge. But those are probably gonna run. I'm gonna put $60 on them in my booth. So what I do is, okay, so I'm like, you want to group a bunch of stuff together. I mean, I know everybody probably seen American Pickers. What you do is, you have a bunch of stuff that you're gonna buy. And you just say, oh, I'm gonna, how much do you want for this one thing? How much do you want for this? She's like, oh, put a bunch of stuff in a little bag, and I'll charge you $1 for the bag. And I'm like, okay, I have these little miniature glass figurines that I found in a unit, and I looked these miniature figurines up on eBay. And I found out that miniatures sell really well on eBay. I didn't know how well because I didn't study it very well. I just kind of clicked the sold button and on eBay to see what they were selling for, and suddenly realized that they were selling for quite a lot of money. So when I showed up at this estate sale, she had a ton of it. And I found these little pictures. So I thought, okay, I'm going to grab these little pictures and I'm going to, you know, I want to grab these because I want to see what they do with them, so that I'm knowledgeable at least a little bit on what people are doing with this stuff. And so what they're doing is building these little tiny buildings out of this stuff. And I guess it's a huge hobby. And I'm so upset because this fountain, this old-fashioned soda fountain here, I'm telling you, it was sitting in front of there, and I was like, nah, I don't need that. How is that still stupid? I was so freaking stupid. Anyways, probably could have got $300 on eBay for that. The freaking chairs alone are going for $100. Sold. God, I'm so mad. This little antique phone is like $10 sold on eBay, on the sold area. But anyway, so I picked up this other stuff, and I said how much she want for it all, and she's like, how about $10? And I said, okay, no problem, $10 is great. So I handed her, okay, so I'm going to take those blankets, and they're gonna sit around in my booth, and I have $10 invested in this stuff. If I had just bought the blankets, it would have still cost me $10. That's the thing, is you have to pick up stuff that the person at the flea market, or the person at the swap meet, or the person at the estate sale doesn't care about. They don't think it's worth any money, but they do think that something else is worth more money. The blankets, she said that she had a long story for the blankets. She said that her great-grandma made the blankets. They were very important to her. She had a whole entire lot of them. I just picked out the 2 best ones because I thought they were going to be really expensive. So I asked her how much something is, and she was like, oh, just throw it all in a bag. She didn't really care. I figured it out that this is something that is probably going to sell on eBay, so I'll be able to get my money back. I didn't know how much she was going to charge me for the blankets. So I didn't know that she was going to charge me $1 a bag for this stuff. So I picked up a couple bags, 3 or 4 bags, not equaling how much she was going to charge me for the blankets. Because you have to think about, if I go overboard, which I would have done because now I know that would have been worth money. If you don't go overboard on something, then somebody's going to be like, oh, she's just, you know, wants something little and cool, you know. I'll throw that stuff in for free. So I'll just take, she only wanted $5 for the blankets, and she threw the rest of it in for free. You know what? That's great. So now I'm making all my money back on these things. These little baskets are hand woven miniatures. These are going to be $7 on eBay. There's 3 of them, 3 sizes. So it'll be $7. If somebody doesn't pay me $7, I'll reduce it down to $5. If someone doesn't want it for $5, I'll add 3 more things to them and still charge $5. And then, boom. I mean, I already made $45 on this stuff. I should have bought it all. So bad. Anyways, so when you go to an estate sale and you're doing estate sales, find something that you like, find something that you want, and that you think's gonna sell in your booth, or that you're gonna sell in your wherever you're gonna sell it, and then find other things that you can resell somewhere else for cheap. So I thought that these were gonna be like $1 each, maybe 50 cents each, whatever. So I got a bunch of stuff. I mean, I got this whole entire little bucket full of stuff. So, I mean, I got a lot to equal how much I was gonna, I got a lot to equal. I thought I was gonna have to spend $25 or $30 on the blankets. So, I'm gonna charge $60 each for the blankets, and then I already made $45 off of my $10. So, it's pretty good. That's what you do at an estate sale. Another thing is what else let's see. So we've been doing this for a year, and we're negative in profit, but that's because of the mistakes I made at the beginning of the year. Every single month for the past 6 months, we've had a positive in profit. So what I did was I took a couple months off of doing storage lockers to try to do estate sales. What happened was I was spending all of my money on stuff for the booth. And so my booth is full of inventory that I bought from estate sales, and I did not do what I just told you to do. The way I do storage lockers now is I try to find a storage locker that's going to pay for itself, which I told you already how to do that. So, well, I wasn't doing that at the beginning. So a lot of the stuff in my booth is stuff that I bought for my booth. So I have a lot of money invested in that stuff, and I didn't realize I was going to get what I wanted for it. So what I do is a 3-month long process. So what I do is 3 months, I have the max amount of what I want to spend on something. I take it to multiple places. I have it on Craigslist for like a month. Then I put it in my booth. Or I do it opposite. I put it in my booth first, and then I put it on Craigslist. I put it on eBay if it can be shipped. I take it down to the flea markets. If I take Folsom, I'm not going to get as much money as if I go to Alameda, but you're going to pay more money in rent. So what you need to do, make sure, is that you have stuff to pay for your rent when you go to these places. That's a whole other thing. So you can make a lot of money doing this by paying rent. And a lot of people don't like to pay rent places, but what I'm thinking is I did one yard sale this year, and it only got me $120, but it was free. But I just spent $30 at the flea market and got $360. Now I turned around and paid $30, so I actually only got $330. And then if you think about it, I paid $275 for the unit. So I have to subtract that from my $330, which ends up being $55. I only made $55. So, but I have like a lot of stuff in the garage that is from that unit that I'm going to be taking to my booth or taking to Alameda, or we paid rent to go to Auburn Antique Fair. These places, my booth, Auburn, and Alameda, all cost a lot more money, but they get you a higher amount of money for your item. Let's take the record I found. Where is it? The Iron Maiden record. Found it on eBay for $22, $12, $150. It's all over the place. It's gonna go in my booth for $15. Will I get $15? Maybe. I might get $15. After 3 months, it goes down to $10. After 3 months after that, it goes down to $5. But no matter what, I pretty much will get $5 for this record. We sell at least 20 records a month in our booth, ranging from $30 to $5. It's the one item that will relate to a lot of people. Records are very difficult to sell on eBay because you got to make sure that you're notifying the customer for every little scratch. Because if there's a tiny little scratch, they'll return it, or they want their money, or they want some type of reimbursement. Records are very difficult to sell on eBay. So if you're having difficulty just selling records, try an antique booth. Then you can buy small little antique booths, and then you can put records in like a little box or whatever, and an antique chair in the corner, and you can pay like, I have to go in and see, but I don't know how much they'll charge you for rent on that. But I mean, I make like $45 off records every month. And some people can't even give records away. I love records because people are always giving records away. Me and my husband loves music, so he's all into the music. That's his whole entire thing, is the records. And he goes and he buys records for $4 all the time, every place. So we're always putting new records. We take some records out. I have like a whole pile here. We always are pulling records, rotating records, making sure the people that come in and check records at our booth are always looking at new records. So records are a good sell. Anyways, so I made a lot of mistakes this year, but next year it's going to be different. So rent house is kind of a weird thing for when you're going to try to get your rent. You want to make sure that you have inventory that you have to pay for rent is already profit free. So like, let's say I bought these blankets and all I did was buy these blankets for $20 and I take them down to Alameda and I have to make $150 to make my rent. I sell the blankets for $60 each. So that's $120. I still got $30 to go on my rent, but I spent $25 on those blankets. So those blankets are now useless to me. That $25 just got thrown in the trash can because the whole profit got thrown in the trash can. That $25, I like to say the $25 is my base $25. And then everything after that is my income money. So what I do is let's say when you go to work, and I'm going through all these. If you go to work and you get your paycheck and you pay your rent, same thing, same principle. It's your time, it's your hard work, and then you have to turn around and you have to pay for your home. So that $25 is an investment that I took, and I put on these blankets for $120. Let's say I bought extra stuff that got thrown in because they didn't care about, and I got my $25 back. Now I have my $25. That is my $25. I now did not buy those blankets. Those blankets are not mine. So as soon as I sell those blankets, that $120 goes to my rent. So what I do is I take that $120 and I pay my bills. Well, if I have another blanket that I bought for the same amount and I make another $60 on that, there you go, there's my rent, and it was completely free. My rent was free. So what you need to do is you need to make sure that you have something that you know for sure is going to sell. And that only takes what you need for that is experience. You either go down to Alameda and walk Alameda, watch people watch the customers buy things, watch what they're buying. A lot of people at Alameda buy vintage clothes. If you have a whole rack of vintage clothes that you bought because at an estate sale you wanted to buy a couch, and you saw a bunch of vintage clothes, and I have a rack in my garage for that purpose, and I just grabbed 10 or 15 articles of clothing. Those clothes are my rent. As soon as somebody comes up and starts haggling with me, I look at them and I make sure I get their money, because that's my rent. So I always have 6 or 7 items that are at the expensive places I go where I can get my rent. The booth is different. The rent comes from smalls. So anything that's small in my booth is rent based. And that was the mistake that I made when I first started doing my booth, was that I started buying items for rent instead of getting the items for free thrown in that I wanted. So if I wanted a couch for $200-300, what else can I get? Oh, I can get that lamp, that double set lamp that lights up on the bottom, lights up on the top, has a really nice, it has a really nice top that goes with it. It was free. It was thrown in with the couch. The 2 side tables were thrown in with the couch. That lamp I'm going to ask $125 for because the bottom lights up because it's awesome. But it's going to pay off my couch. My couch can now sit in my booth for free as long as I want. Now I got to continue to put free stuff in the booth to counteract the rent that I have to pay for the booth. So that means that I have to continue to put things into my booth. So what I did at the beginning was I bought stuff for rent, and now I have invested too much money in it because it's kind of like the antique fair. I mean the Folsom flea market. You take it 3 times and then you donate it. Same thing with when you take things to Alameda, and you take things to Auburn, and you take things to Folsom. I mean, you take things to your booth. What you want to do is you want to rotate the product in, rotate the product out. You want to reduce the price. You want to try to get it. So what was happening is I have too much money invested in the small items that are in my booth. And I'm not selling enough big items to contradict that sell. So that was a mistake. But overall, this year has been pretty good. The lockers this year have been really depressing, in my opinion. I haven't found any like so amazing that I'm like super excited to clean it out. So I had to be really motivated, but I have to tell you that I made as much money as if I was sitting around doing nothing. Okay, so last but not least, I mean, I made as much money as if I was working part-time at a part-time job. So last but not least, we just did our BOE tax. The BOE tax is when you sell something to a customer. That's the tax that you pay when the customer pays when they go to buy something from you. Say you sell something to someone for $1. It's 8% tax. It's an 7.33 or something like that tax. I think it's 8. I don't know. But it's a tax. And if I sell something for $1, it's supposed to be $1.12 because it's tax. Well, if you just sell it for $1, then you're taking that 12 cents and you're eating the 12 cents. So technically, you're paying for their tax, which is a normal thing in a flea market. Okay, so let's say you are buying storage lockers for $1,000. And you get to the end of the year, and now you have to claim how much you've made, how much merchandise you sold to customers. So it's how much you've sold. Okay. Say you only want to claim $2,000, but you've bought, let's say, 10 lockers at $1,000. You spent $10,000, and you want to only claim $2,000 to the BOE. They're going to know because every single time you put your resale license down on a locker bought, they expect you to make close to $1,000 if you're going to spend $1,000 on a locker. So you have to pretty much claim $10,000. You can claim $8,000 and then say that you donated and you have donation cards to Goodwill. But you're not allowed to say that you donate your whole $1,000 on that unit. You need to make sure that you claim that you're selling that stuff. So at Denials, you have to do a resale license, and so there's a lot of places you don't have to. Your garage sales, you don't have to claim resale license. Your eBay, at a certain amount, you don't have to do a resale license. and Craigslist. You don't have to do a resale license. So let's say that's all you do, but you still get a resale license, so you don't have to pay taxes on your storage lockers. That's not going to fly. You need to make sure that the government is like, you have to pay taxes to us. So they're going to do an audit on you, and they're going to see that you have bought 10 lockers this year, and you only claim you made $2,000. Plus, at the end of the year, when you do your real taxes, it's the income tax. So there's two different taxes. One is the tax that the customer is paying. They give it to you. You put it into a savings account. You have to pay it once a year. Some people have to pay it once a month, but majority of us that do storage lockers are a small time. They only have to pay once a year. When I have my booth, he pays once a month for us. So every single time somebody buys something, they pay taxes to the mall, to my Midway Antique Mall, and then he goes into the BOE and pays everybody's tax that they made that month to the BOE. So we get a write-off on those sales. So we claim that we made, let's say, $5,000 on the mall. Well, he already paid the 8% to the government for that $5,000. So I only spend $300 a month on the storage lockers. So you can claim. Every single time you go to a fair or a flea market, you get a receipt, and you can claim that at the end of the year. Well, I always try to claim that I made double that. Sometimes I suck it up because sometimes I did not make any money. Does not mean that I didn't make any sales. It just means I didn't make any money. So to the government, if you bought something for $275 and you sold $200 worth to a customer, you still owe the government 8% on that $200. But I mean, there's ways of getting around it, and you don't have to claim Craigslist as much if you're going to flea markets. If you have a booth, if you have these things lined up saying that where you're selling items, then you don't have to keep as much of a hard angle of amount of your sales, because we buy a lot of stuff from people that are private people. So you just have to, what I'm saying is, if you're out buying $1,000 in lockers every month, be ready to pay at least $8,000 on 8% to the government at the end of the year, at the end of your year. So that being said, that's the end of this video, and congratulations to everybody that started this and that has keep doing it, and I encourage you to keep doing it. It's a very profitable way of getting money, of doing money. So after I drop the phone, I don't know when I'm going to buy another locker, so hopefully the next locker will be awesome. Anyways.